Welcome to AI in 10. I'm Chuck Goetschel, and every day I break down the biggest AI story in just 10 minutes. What it is, why it matters, and how you can actually use it. So here's something that should keep you awake tonight. We've reached the point where we literally can't tell what's real anymore. And I'm not talking about some distant sci-fi scenario. I'm talking about right now in 2026, where cybersecurity experts are openly saying they can't solve what they're calling the deep fake crisis. Ben Coleman, who runs a company that specializes in detecting fake content, just admitted that no single organization can handle what's happening with weaponized AI agents and deepfakes. That's like the fire chief saying, your house is too big to save. But here's what's really fascinating. This isn't just about fake videos anymore. We're dealing with something much more sophisticated and honestly much scarier. Let me paint you the picture of what's actually happening right now. Chris McGuire from the Council on Foreign Relations has identified what he calls 3 dimensions of shadow operations, shadow autonomy, shadow identities, and shadow code. Think of these as AI blind spots where systems are operating without anyone watching. Shadow autonomy means AI agents are making decisions and taking actions without human oversight. These aren't simple chatbots. These are systems capable of executing projects that would take a human a full week to complete. And they're doing it autonomously, which means nobody's checking their work until it's already done. Shadow identities are even more unsettling. These are AI systems that can impersonate real people so convincingly that you'd never know you're not talking to the actual person. Imagine getting detailed instructions from what appears to be your boss, your doctor, or your financial advisor, except it's actually an AI agent pretending to be them. Shadow code refers to AI systems operating within organizations without proper governance. Companies are using AI tools throughout their workflows, but they have no visibility into what these systems are actually doing. It's like having employees you can't see, can't monitor, and can't hold accountable. And here's the kicker. McGuire says these blind spots are already being exploited by hostile actors. This isn't a future threat we're preparing for. It's happening now. What makes this particularly challenging is the timing. We're potentially entering what experts call AI takeoff, a period where AI capabilities advance so rapidly that they transform both the economy and national security almost overnight. So just when AI becomes powerful enough to change everything, we lose the ability to verify what it's actually doing. This creates a paradox that's slowing down legitimate AI adoption. Companies want to deploy AI at scale, but they can't responsibly do it without verification systems. It's like wanting to drive faster, but discovering your speedometer is broken. Now, let's talk about why this matters to your actual life. Because this isn't just a corporate IT problem. First, your job security depends on workplace trust. As more companies integrate AI agents into their operations, and we're expecting 15 to 20% of enterprises to be using AI effectively this year, millions of workers will regularly interact with autonomous AI systems. But here's the problem. You might receive what appears to be instructions from your manager, but it's actually a deepfake agent. Your performance review might be influenced by AI-generated reports about your work. Someone could damage your professional reputation using AI-generated content that appears to come from you. Without verification mechanisms, you have no way to prove what's legitimate and what's fake. Second, financial fraud is getting sophisticated in ways that should terrify you. Criminals can now combine deepfake technology with autonomous AI agents. That means they could use a deepfake of your voice or appearance alongside an AI system that autonomously completes financial transactions. We're not talking about a one-time scam. We're talking about coordinated campaigns that adapt in real time as you try to defend yourself, which is basically like playing chess against someone who gets to move twice every turn. Third, every important decision you make now involves information reliability. In healthcare, legal situations, financial planning, even news consumption, you need to know whether information comes from authentic human experts or AI-generated sources. Patient might receive AI-generated medical advice they believe came from their doctor. Someone might make a major financial decision based on news articles entirely created by AI. The shadow identities problem means you can't reliably know whether you're communicating with a real professional or an AI pretending to be one. And finally, your privacy is at stake in new ways. These sophisticated deepfake and AI agent systems require training data. often including your personal photos, videos, voice recordings, and behavioral patterns. As they become more advanced, synthetic versions of you could be operating autonomously in digital spaces, potentially damaging your reputation, relationships, or finances without your knowledge. So what can you actually do about this? Because unlike a lot of AI developments, this one requires immediate action from regular people. Let's start with your personal security. First, you need to upgrade beyond basic passwords immediately. I'm talking about hardware security keys or biometric authentication tied to liveness detection for your critical accounts, especially banking and email. This creates friction that defeats most deepfake-based account takeovers. Liveness detection is key here because it verifies you're actually present, not just showing a photo or playing a recording. Second, establish communication verification protocols for anything sensitive. If your manager sends an unusual financial request via email, call them directly on a known phone number before acting. If your doctor's office sends unexpected instructions, call the main number and verify. This seems obvious, but it defeats most autonomous agent attack scenarios because these systems rely on you trusting digital communications without verification. Third, monitor your accounts religiously. Check your financial accounts, email login history, and social media regularly for unfamiliar access or activity. Many organizations now offer continuous validation services that alert you to suspicious login patterns or device access. Use them. Fourth, start researching deepfake detection tools. Companies like Reality Defender are making detection services accessible to regular consumers. Before making important decisions based on video or audio content, especially of people you know personally, use available detection tools to verify authenticity. This is particularly important for any content that seems urgent or requests immediate action. Now, if you run a business or have influence in an organization, you have additional responsibilities. You need to audit AI systems currently operating in your workflows. Document where AI agents are deployed, what decisions they make autonomously, and whether those operations are visible and auditable. Most companies have no idea how many AI systems are actually operating within their organization right now. Implement governance frameworks immediately. This means establishing mandatory reviews of AI-generated outputs before they affect real-world outcomes, and requiring governed channels for AI tools rather than allowing employees to use whatever they want. And invest in threat intelligence platforms that monitor AI use to detect when unauthorized or weaponized AI agents are operating within your systems. As I always say, I'm not a lawyer, doctor, or financial advisor, so always talk to a professional for your specific situation. But here's what I can tell you with confidence. The experts working on this problem every day are saying that 2026 marks the first time we've had AI capabilities advance faster than our ability to govern them safely. The bigger picture here is that we're watching the first major inflection point where AI's technical capabilities have genuinely outpaced the infrastructure to manage them. This isn't theoretical anymore, it's operational reality affecting business decisions and national security assessments. Watch for several developments that will shape how this plays out. Government agencies and international bodies will accelerate requirements for AI transparency and verification. Expect standards requiring that AI systems operating in critical sectors like healthcare, finance, and government include built-in verification mechanisms. We're also entering a technological arms race around authentication. Companies will rapidly deploy competing verification technologies. Watermarking systems for AI-generated content, cryptographic proof of authenticity systems, and behavioral analysis tools that detect autonomous AI agents. Interestingly, this authentication crisis might accelerate quantum computing adoption. IBM predicts that 2026 marks the first time quantum computers will outperform classical computers, and quantum-powered cryptography could provide authentication mechanisms resistant to deepfake manipulation. So basically, we need tomorrow's technology to solve today's problems. But the most important shift is psychological. The narrative around AI in 2026 is transitioning from "Can AI do this?" to "How do we know this is real?" Every piece of important information now comes with implicit questions about authenticity and origin. This represents a fundamental change in how we relate to AI-generated content and autonomous AI agents. We're moving from skepticism about AI capabilities to hypervigilance about AI authenticity. The path forward requires recognizing that 2026's central challenge isn't whether AI is capable enough. It demonstrably is. The challenge is building reliable ways to distinguish between what's real and what's AI generated, and deploying that infrastructure faster than the threats can evolve. What gives me hope is that this collaborative ecosystem approach represents the AI industry finally acknowledging that some challenges are too big for any single company to solve. Just like we developed shared infrastructure for internet security, we're building shared infrastructure for AI authenticity. The key insight from this deepfake crisis is that verification and trust aren't optional features you add to AI systems. They're foundational infrastructure that everything else depends on. The organizations and individuals who invest in verification capabilities now will be the ones who can safely accelerate their AI adoption while everyone else stays stuck in cautious experimentation mode. Because at the end of the day, the greatest AI opportunity of our lifetime only works if we can tell the difference between what's real and what's not. That's today's AI in 10. If you want to go deeper and learn AI with a community of people just like you, join us at aihammock.com. I'll see you tomorrow, my friends.